As he mentioned, my name is Edith. I am Sukh's eldest daughter. I have recently actually returned myself from abroad, completing my studies as becoming a pediatrician, training to become a pediatrician. And I cannot begin to explain the type of respect and admiration that our government, and especially our Prime Minister, have garnered across the world. It is our Prime Minister's inclusive and positive vision that has really created a place for Canada on the map. It is the way that he embraces hope as an agent to increase our opportunity. Instead of taking fear and division in politics as a combative force. It is this positive vision that makes this a very exciting time for young Canadian professionals like myself to be returning home and to contributing. Because right now, there is a strong sense of inspiration among so many of us to lead by example and really to fulfill the vision and make it a reality, one that he has allowed for us to do. So, you know, I think what we're trying to do is to create a Canada that is great for not just this generation, but the generations to come. Most importantly, to fulfill the promise that our parents believed in when they made this country their choice. Tonight's special guest is a man who wears his heart on his sleeve. He is a person who says what he means and he means what he says. He believes that there is no higher calling than public service. He walks the walk, and for so many of us across the world, he has become a model of a statesman and a global citizen. He proves that economic growth goes hand in hand with making the right decisions for the future generations. As we begin to start thinking about the year ahead and the federal election that is approaching, it is our privilege to hear the Liberal Party of Canada's vision for the middle class and those hoping to join it, like myself. With the economic record in the G7, one that has really lifted over 500,000 Canadians. And also 300,000 of those children out of poverty. This government has just gotten started on building a Canada for the next generation that is the envy of the world. So without further ado, I would like everyone here tonight to offer a warm welcome to our Prime Minister of Canada, the Right Honourable Justin Trudeau.
Thank you, Kira. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Sukh. Thank you all for being here tonight. What a pleasure to see this room so filled with so many friends, a few new friends as well, and a lot of familiar faces. But obviously, this is a time for us to come together and reflect on what we've accomplished together, but also reflect on what we're doing together for the coming year and hopefully the years beyond that. I want to start by thanking our amazing Pacific Caucus team, represented here tonight by Sukh Dhaliwal, Minister Carla Qualtrough, and Randeep Sarai. Wonderful, and Ken Hardy's here as well. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for coming out. This is an opportunity to highlight the extraordinary work that we've done in Surrey, but mostly the extraordinary work that you've helped us do in Surrey, the work that you've helped us do for families right across the Lower Mainland. Today I was pleased to make an announcement that we're moving forward with the LRT extension that's going to make a huge difference here in Surrey and across the Lower Mainland. So I was proud to do that with the Premier, with Mayor Hefner, and many councillors and MPs with us as well. We've moved forward on concrete investments here in Surrey, like $45 million for the SFU Surrey campus Faculty of Engineering. We've made significant investments in public safety and security, particularly around the issue of community safety. And I have to say, I had the privilege today of sitting down between Minister Sajjan and Minister Bill Blair to talk about the challenges in our communities, specifically with young leaders in those communities. Young people, some as young as 12 years old, some in their late teens, all of whom had demonstrated leadership in tackling the challenges that they and their peers were facing in high schools and community centers right across Surrey and the Lower Mainland. And I have to say, I've spent a lot of time with experts, police officers and academics, community leaders and parent groups and people who are really thinking about how to build a better future for our kids, build a better, stronger future for our communities. But all of those wise experts are often not quite as great as a room full of young people who are living it every day, thinking about what works to get them on the right path, thinking about how to challenge us to think differently about challenges and problems that we've faced, and reflecting really on how we need to draw in our young people, not just into conversations about what might be going wrong in our communities, but what needs to go right in our communities, how we build a stronger future for ourselves, for our children, for next generations, how we make sure that young people are part of the political discussions because they're thinking about the long term, they're thinking about the future, they're thinking about what the world's going to look like a generation or two from now. And those challenges and those conversations have to be had, but they can't just be regular political partisan conversations. They have to be deep conversations that really focus on listening. Because as much as we're thinking about, as AJ said, the campaign coming up next year, we have to think more about delivering good government to people. Delivering the kinds of things that make a difference in people's lives. Delivering the kinds of opportunities for our young people, the kind of support for our elders and our seniors, the kinds of good jobs and good opportunities for parents raising their kids, support for entrepreneurs and innovators. These are the kinds of things that strengthen our communities and create a better future. And there's a tendency in politics these days to simplify things, to make everything look like black or white. You're on one side of the issue or you're on the other side of the issue. And there's certainly a market for trying to scare people one way or make them angry in another way. It's always been harder to try and pull people together and offer reasonable solutions. People protest, no, no, no. People protest, yes, yes, yes. Nobody's standing out there going, make a decent compromise. Choose the reasonable path. But that's what we do. We try and find that responsible way forward, recognizing that a country as extraordinary and diverse as Canada will always have a range of perspectives, a range of solutions, a range of preoccupations that we need to fold into our thinking. And the way that happens isn't by closing yourself off in Ottawa and just listening to a handful of pollsters and experts. But it happens by staying connected to your communities. And that's where each and every one of you comes in. By stepping up and being part of this tonight, you're saying more than you want to continue to support the Liberal Party of Canada, although we very much appreciate your generous contributions tonight. You're also saying you want to be part of the conversations about how we build a better country. You want to be part of being the active citizens that shape the world that we're part of, because that's what politics is supposed to be. And when around the world we see the rise of aggressive nationalism, or the politics of polarization, or irresponsible populism, we see that there is a tendency to exploit short-term emotions as a way of getting the capacity to govern. But one of the things that we know is that once you've gone and divided citizens into small groups, set Canadians against set Canadians, set one region against another, or newcomers against people who have been here for generations, against people who've been here for millennia, maybe that can work and help you get a few more votes. But it actually hurts your capacity to govern this country for the good of all. And that's the challenge that we've set forward. That's what we have stepped up to do over the past 3 years. And thanks to you, your support, we've been able to do that. And if you remember from the 2015 election, we really felt that we could demonstrate that you could win an election by staying positive, by not attacking your opponents personally, by, yes, being sharp about the distinctions between, different positions on policy, but never trying to drag people down into the politics of opposition, the politics of nastiness, negativity, division. Well, we said to ourselves, if we can prove that you can go from the distant third party to forming a government through the politics of positivism and pulling people together, well, no one will ever try the politics of division again in Canada. We were right about so many things, it's just unfortunate that we were wrong about that. Because unfortunately we see the temptation of the politics of fear, of negativity, of anger, of division creeping in. The Conservatives are playing up the same old fears that lost them the last election. They didn't learn their lesson. So we're just going to have to teach them that lesson again, aren't we? We're going to have to show them that Canada's diversity is not a source of weakness, but a source of strength. It is an opportunity for us to pull together, learn from each other, and deliver better solutions than we ever had before. That is the challenge we're facing together, and that is what we can deliver, and we will deliver together. And that's why we need you all. Not just to keep staying involved, but to keep having conversations about how we're doing as a country. Keep bringing along your neighbors, your friends, your business associates to talk about a positive vision for where this country can go. Talk about the kinds of things we've done and the kinds of things we still will do together. That's what I need from all of you. And that's why I'm so excited about the year coming up. And I thank you so much for being here tonight. But before I end, I do want to say one thing. You will have noticed we're joined here tonight by members of the media. This is something that we've been doing for a little over a year now, inviting the media to come in to our fundraisers, because it's something that we believe in. We think that there should be an openness and a transparency in how political parties collect money, how they raise money, and quite frankly, what they say to motivate their supporters. Because that's important in politics as well. And we can see where things go wrong when you start considering that the media is an antagonist or an enemy. So today we saw that in Myanmar, 2 Reuters journalists were sentenced to 7 years in prison for doing their jobs. And I want everyone to reflect on the fact that it is absolutely essential in any democracy to have a strong, empowered, independent media to challenge leadership, to ask difficult questions, to represent citizens and inform citizens about what's actually going on. So I want you to all recognize that we welcome the members of the media here tonight. Thank them for having been here for this, and we'll continue to defend the role they play. Now, if we could only convince the other political parties to be as open in their fundraising as we are, we would be better as a country as well. But that's something that we'll continue to ask over the coming year. Sur ce, mes amis, je veux vraiment vous remercier d'être ici ce soir. J'ai bien hâte de vous rencontrer un par un quand on prendra des photos. Mais vraiment, je veux vous dire merci d'être ici. Merci de continuer à croire en ce que nous faisons ensemble. I'm looking forward to chatting with you all as we take some pictures now. So thank you very much for being here. Merci tout le monde d'être ici. Thank you.